She betrayed me in the most calculated way possible, and I'm about to be reborn because of it. The sound of Tyler's expensive loafers clicking against my office floor makes my jaw clench, but I force a smile that doesn't reach my eyes. It's a sharp, arrogant sound, echoing in the space that was mine only hours ago. My corner office. The one with the view, the one they promised. The one he's now claiming as his own. I stare, not at him, but at the ghost of my presence. The faint coffee ring on the mahogany desk. The almost imperceptible scratch near the window where I'd leaned too heavily. Thinking. This was where I burned the midnight oil, where I poured 3 years of my life into strategies Linda Hartwell, our illustrious CEO, had praised. "You're the future of this company, Marcus," she'd said, her voice like smooth honey just last month. Turns out the future she envisioned had a different face. Tyler's face. The scent of Tyler's designer cologne, something sharp and overtly masculine, now pollutes the air. It's a stark contrast to the familiar blend of stale coffee, old books, and my own quiet ambition that used to define this room. He moves with an unearned confidence, adjusting the leather chair. My leather chair, as if he were born to sit in it. He probably thinks he was. Just an hour ago, Linda gathered the entire team in the conference room. Her voice, usually crisp and commanding, had an almost gleeful edge as she announced Tyler Manning's well-deserved promotion to senior vice president. My position. The one I was officially supposed to step into next Monday. "Tyler has shown exceptional initiative and innovative thinking," Linda had purred, her eyes flicking to me for a nanosecond, a tiny, almost imperceptible smirk playing on her lips. "He's a real go-getter." My hands, clasped in front of me, trembled slightly. I focused on a fixed point on the wall, breathing slowly, evenly, as a wave of applause, genuine from some, sycophantic from others, filled the room. I clapped too. The sound of my own palms hitting each other felt distant, like it was happening to someone else. Tyler, damn him, offered a fake humble speech. He stood there, radiating smugness wrapped in a veneer of gratitude. "I've learned so much," he said, his gaze sweeping across the room before landing directly on me. "Especially from Marcus. He's been an incredible mentor, truly showing me the ropes. I couldn't have done it without him." The lie was so blatant, so perfectly delivered, it was almost admirable. He was good, I'll give him that. A good actor, a good thief. He trained with me for 2 years. 2 years I invested in him, shared my ideas, my contacts, my nearly completed client acquisition strategy. The one I'd poured my soul into for 3 long years. He was supposed to be my right hand, the guy who'd help implement it when I took the helm. Instead, he'd taken the helm, the strategy, and my damn office. It was then, watching him preen, watching Linda's approving smile, that the pieces clicked into place. This wasn't a last-minute decision. This was orchestrated. The private meetings Tyler had with Linda, the ones he'd vaguely referred to as strategy sessions, they weren't about my strategy. They were about his strategy to usurp me. The late nights he claimed to be catching up on reports were likely spent polishing his pitch with Linda's guidance. The betrayal was so complete, so meticulously planned, it left a metallic taste in my mouth. But they don't know everything. They don't know about the quiet nights I spent building my own safety nets, my own counterplays. As the applause for Tyler finally died down, as people started patting him on the back, I slipped back to my old desk, now a temporary holding pen in the open plan bullpen. With a calmness that surprised even me, I slid a plain manila envelope from the bottom drawer. It's thin, unassuming. But the documents inside, Tyler doesn't know they exist. Linda doesn't know I have them. The board meeting is in 72 hours. Tyler is scheduled to present his revolutionary strategy, the one he stole from me, the one he thinks will make his career. He has no idea what's coming. He thinks he's won. He has no idea the game is just beginning. The metallic taste of betrayal still mingles with the bitter dregs of office coffee on my tongue. I take a slow sip from the lukewarm cup. The institutional beige of the bullpen cubicle I've been relegated to feeling like a physical manifestation of my demotion. It's a stark contrast to the warm wood and expansive views I'd mentally inhabited for months. But this temporary setback is just fuel. I remember the day Tyler started. Eager, a little green, but smart. I saw potential. "Take him under your wing, Marcus," Linda had said. "Show him how we do things. Groom him." Oh, I groomed him all right. I taught him about client relations, about market analysis, about the ethical frameworks we supposedly operated within. I shared my work, my almost finished client acquisition strategy, piece by piece, thinking I was building a protege, an ally. I'd walk him through the complex algorithms, the multi-tiered engagement funnels, the entire architecture of a system designed to revolutionize how we landed and retained major accounts. He'd listen intently, ask intelligent questions. "This is brilliant, Marcus," he'd often say, his eyes wide with what I mistook for admiration. It was, in retrospect, assessment. He wasn't admiring the work. He was appraising its value, its stealability. My phone buzzes. It's Jenny, my assistant, or rather, my former assistant, now assigned to Tyler. A quiet, observant woman, often underestimated. The text is simple. "Mr. Chen, a word when you're free? Coffee machine?" I find her by the sputtering coffee machine, her expression carefully neutral. "Jenny," I say, keeping my voice low. She hands me a lukewarm cup. "Tyler asked me to shred everything on your old hard drive. Standard procedure," he said. Her eyes, however, tell a different story. "But I also saw him copying your main strategy folder onto a personal flash drive last week and the week before. Backups," he told Linda when she asked. So, it had been going on for weeks. The theft wasn't a sudden opportunity. It was a calculated heist. Tyler's confident smirk when he shook my hand earlier, the one that made my skin crawl, now makes perfect sense. It wasn't just triumph. It was the look of a con man who'd successfully fleeced his mark. I retreat to the break room, the fluorescent lights humming above me like a nest of angry wasps. The stale air, thick with the scent of microwaved lunches and disappointment, feels suffocating. I need a moment, a breath before I make my next move. My mind is surprisingly clear, the initial shock replaced by a cold, sharp anger. This isn't just about a stolen promotion or a corner office. This is about principle. It's about the years of my life they've tried to negate. I pull out my personal phone, not the company-issued one, and send a text to a number I haven't used in a while. "David, my old college roommate, now a rising star at the SEC. The message is short. It's time." Then, a small, satisfying act of quiet rebellion. I log into the shared server from my laptop. There are specific data sets, ancillary files to my main strategy that Tyler will undoubtedly need for his presentation. Files he thinks are complete. Files I know have subtle, almost undetectable flaws. Flaws only I know how to correct. With a few clicks, key algorithms are subtly altered. Crucial demographic filters are miscalibrated. Not enough to raise immediate red flags during a cursory review, but enough to make his projections skewed, his conclusions flawed when presented under scrutiny. Let him walk into that boardroom with a time bomb in his briefcase. Another buzz. Jenny again. This time not a text, but a discreet handoff as I pass her desk on my way back from the restroom. A small black flash drive is pressed into my palm. "Found this in the shred bin, next to Linda's office," she whispers, not meeting my eye. "Thought you might want it. Seems she doesn't trust digital deletion for everything. Some things, she wants pulped." You're not the only one who noticed their late-night meetings, the locked-door sessions. My fingers close around the drive. It's warm from her hand. Thank you, Jenny, I say, my voice tight with a new layer of suspicion. Linda shredding physical evidence? This is deeper than I thought. Back in the relative anonymity of my temporary cubicle, I slide the flash drive into my laptop. My breath catches. It's not documents. It's audio files. Dozens of them, meticulously dated. The file names are chillingly simple. LM_TM_strategy_1, LM_TM_concerns_Marcus, LM_TM_board_approach. My phone buzzes one more time. David. Documentation received, processed, green light for operation, handle your end. A grim smile touches my lips. The pieces are moving. Tyler thinks he's preparing for a presentation. He has no idea he's walking into a reckoning. The mini cliffhanger isn't just the audio files. It's the dawning realization that this isn't just about corporate backstabbing. This is about something far more serious. And Linda Hartwell, our esteemed CEO, is right in the middle of it. The leather of my car seat creaks as I shift, the confines of the driver's seat suddenly feeling restrictive. I'm parked in the furthest corner of the company garage, the dim emergency lights casting long, distorted shadows. The air is cool and smells faintly of exhaust fumes and damp concrete. Through my earbuds, the damning audio recordings play, each word a fresh stab of betrayal, but also a vital piece of the puzzle. The first few files are what I expected. Tyler, voice slick with ambition, outlining my strategy to Linda, presenting it as his own. Linda praising his insight, his boldness. But then it gets darker. He's good, Marcus, Linda's voice, laced with something I can only describe as predatory amusement. But he's too straight, too by the book. Your approach, Tyler, has that flexibility we need. Marcus is too naive to see what's coming, Tyler's voice replies. A smug chuckle underlying his words. He practically handed me everything on a silver platter, worried about his intellectual property. The fool! Linda's laugh cuts through the speakers then, sharp and brittle. Let him train his replacement. It's poetic justice, don't you think? Keeps him busy, keeps him from looking too closely at other things. Other things? My pulse pounds in my temples. What other things? The subsequent recordings reveal the true depth of their conspiracy. Tyler hasn't just stolen my strategy for Hartwell Industries. He's been systematically leaking it, piece by piece, to our competitors. Not all of it, just enough to give them an edge, to devalue my work before he even officially presented it internally. And Linda knew. She sanctioned it. Meridian Corp is paying top dollar for this level of insight, Tyler boasts in one recording, dated 2 months ago. And Sterling Thorne is next. By the time I'm SVP, Hartwell will have a clear path, and I'll have a very comfortable nest egg. Linda's response is cool, calculating. Just ensure the payments are untraceable, Tyler. We can't afford any loose ends. Your promotion is contingent on your discretion, and of course on ensuring Marcus doesn't stumble upon any of this before it's too late. Corporate espionage. Selling proprietary information. This isn't just about losing a job. This is criminal. My mind races, connecting dots I hadn't even seen before. The recent underperformance of some of my key accounts, the deals that inexplicably fell through at the last minute. Tyler hasn't just been stealing my future. He's been actively sabotaging my present, steering major clients away from my portfolio, no doubt paving the way for him to rescue them later with his new strategies. The sheer audacity, the layers of deceit, are breathtaking. I grip the steering wheel, my knuckles white. The anger is a cold, hard knot in my stomach, but beneath it, a surge of adrenaline. They think I'm naive. They think I'm out. They have no idea. A quiet power move. It's time. I pull out my personal phone, the one with the encrypted messaging app, the one they don't know about. 3 calls. 3 of my largest clients, the ones Tyler has been circling like a vulture. John, it's Marcus Chen. Yes, everything's fine. Listen, there are some transitions happening here at Hartwell. I'd like to schedule a meeting, just to ensure a smooth handover of your account. How's tomorrow morning for you? Repeat twice more. All 3 agree. Their voices tinged with curiosity, perhaps a hint of concern. Good. Tyler was planning to contact them tomorrow after his grand presentation to introduce himself as their new senior contact. I've just preempted him. He'll be walking into meetings where I've already set the narrative. The weight of my backup phone, an old, untraceable burner, feels heavy in my pocket. It's connected to a small, discreetly managed side business I'd set up years ago, a consulting firm specializing in niche market analytics. It was supposed to be a rainy day fund, a little intellectual challenge outside the corporate grind. Now it might be my lifeboat, or something more. I lean my head back against the seat, the crackle of the audio files still echoing in my ears. Tyler and Linda think they've cornered me, neutered me. He has no idea about the subsidiary company Marcus has been quietly building, a company with its own clean slate, its own growing reputation. He thinks he's presenting a strategy to Hartwell's board that will cement his position. He doesn't realize that strategy, the one he stole, is already compromised, already picked apart by competitors thanks to his own greed. The ticking clock in my head chimes. 48 hours until Tyler's presentation. 48 hours until his brilliant strategy will not only fail to impress, but will, if I play my cards right, expose him and Linda for the criminals they are. 48 hours to turn their carefully constructed betrayal into their public execution. He thinks it will destroy my career. He has no idea it's his own that's on the line, and Linda's right alongside it. The rain is a relentless curtain against the floor-to-ceiling windows of the Gilded Spoon, an upscale restaurant known more for its discretion than its menu. The rhythmic drumming on the glass masks my hushed conversation with Catherine Walsh, one of Hartwell Industries' most influential, and, I've always suspected, most astute board members. The city lights blur into abstract streaks of color through the downpour. I've had my eye on Linda for a while now, Marcus, Catherine says, her voice a low murmur that barely carries over the clink of silverware and the general hum of expensive chatter around us. Her eyes, the color of frosted steel, are sharp. Her decisions lately, they haven't felt right. Too impulsive for her usual style. And Tyler Manning's assent? Meteoritic, and frankly, unconvincing. I've chosen my words carefully, shared selective pieces of evidence, sanitized printouts of certain financial discrepancies I'd stumbled upon, implications of data leaks, nothing directly from the flash drive yet. I need to gauge her reaction, her allegiance, before revealing my full hand. He's persuasive, I offer, watching her reaction. Catherine sips her water, a small, almost predatory smile touching her lips. Persuasive or manipulative? I knew something was off about that boy from the moment Linda started parading him around. He has the ambition, yes, but not the depth. Not like you, Marcus. This is my opening. There's more, Catherine. It seems Tyler hasn't just been ambitious within Hartwell. He's been externally ambitious as well. I slide a single, carefully redacted document across the table, a summary of irregular data transfers timed just before competitors launched surprisingly similar campaigns. Her eyes sharpen further, like a predator scenting blood. Meridian Corp., she breathes, tapping a perfectly manicured nail on the company name I'd deliberately left visible. Linda has been pushing for closer ties with them. Talks of a strategic alliance. I suspected it was more. It seems Tyler has been feeding them information, I confirm. And it looks like Linda has been positioning herself, and by extension Hartwell, for a buyout offer from Meridian. A very lucrative one for her, I imagine. The conspiracy, it turns out, runs even deeper than I initially thought. Linda isn't just enabling Tyler. She's using him as a pawn in her own high-stakes game to cash out. My phone vibrates silently in my pocket. An encrypted message from my security contact, a specialist I'd hired weeks ago when my suspicions about Tyler first began to solidify. He's been digging into Tyler's financials. The message is brief. Offshore accounts, multiple, significant deposits, untraceable sources, but timing aligns with Meridian's recent successes. More to come. I allow myself a small, controlled smile. It seems Tyler's newfound genius has been remarkably well compensated. I lean forward slightly. Catherine, Tyler's presenting his grand strategy to the board in less than 2 days. A strategy heavily reliant on a partnership with Meridian. A partnership that's a Trojan horse, she finishes, her eyes gleaming with understanding. He'll be advocating for the very company that's been undermining us, with Linda's blessing. Time for another quiet power move. Speaking of Meridian, I say, casually swirling the ice in my drink, I have a meeting with their CEO tomorrow, Richard Castellanos. Catherine's perfectly sculpted eyebrow arches. You know Richard Castellanos personally? The surprise in her voice is genuine. Hartwell Industries has been trying to get a direct line to him for months, with no success. I smile, a genuine one this time. We go way back. College roommates, actually. He was best man at my wedding. The one good thing that came out of my brief, ill-fated marriage. Catherine leans back, a slow smile spreading across her face. Marcus Chen, you are a man of hidden depths. This changes things, significantly. She pauses, then, we'll need one more board member on our side to guarantee a vote of no confidence in Linda. Harrison Blake. He's old school, values loyalty above all else. If he knew the extent of this... My phone buzzes again, a calendar alert. Tyler is scheduled to meet with those 3 major clients I spoke to yesterday, first thing tomorrow morning. He'll be walking in, expecting to charm them, to transition their accounts smoothly. He has no idea I've already spoken to them, already planted seeds of doubt about the new direction Hartwell is taking. The ticking clock isn't just for his board presentation, it's for his rapidly unraveling credibility. And Linda's. The elevator's mechanical hum is a quiet counterpoint to the storm brewing inside me as I ascend to the 47th floor of the Meridian Tower. The polished steel doors multiply my reflection, a series of increasingly determined Marcus Chens looking back at me. This isn't just a meeting, it's a culmination of a 2-year chess game. The flashback hits me with the scent of stale coffee and late-night takeout. 2 years ago, shortly after I first suspected Linda's management style was becoming erratic. Her focus shifted from innovation to short-term gains, her ethical boundaries becoming blurrier. That's when Richard Castellanos, CEO of Meridian Corp. And my old friend, had reached out. Not for corporate espionage, not to spy on Hartwell. He'd heard through the grapevine that I was becoming disillusioned. He offered me a consultancy, a side business, a way to channel my strategic thinking into a fresh environment. Just analysis, Marcus, he'd said. Public records, industry trends. Help us understand the landscape. No conflicts of interest. Just your brain. On our side, ethically. My side business, Apex Strategic Solutions, was born. It wasn't a secret, just discreet. and it thrived. I fed Meridian information, yes, but it was all gleaned from public domain sources, financial reports, industry journals. I highlighted Hartwell's vulnerabilities, their missed opportunities, their outdated models, all things a competitor could discern with enough diligence. Linda's questionable practices, her increasing reliance on quick fixes rather than sustainable growth, made them an easy target for astute analysis. The elevator doors swish open. Richard greets me not in a formal conference room, but in his private office, a space filled with modern art and the quiet hum of a city far below. "My star consultant returns," he says, his handshake firm, his smile genuine. "No pretense here. We've been through too much." "Richard," I say, taking the offered leather armchair, "things have accelerated." "So I've heard," he says, his expression turning serious. "Tyler Manning, Linda Hartwell. A rather messy business." "They stole my strategy, Richard, the one I was developing for Hartwell." He nods. "The one you shared with me, in confidence, 6 months ago? The one designed to look brilliant on paper but had critical hidden flaws if implemented without certain key adjustments?" The twist. The strategies Tyler filched, the ones he's so proud of, the ones he's been leaking and is about to present to the Hartwell board, they were decoys. Decoy plans I'd meticulously crafted after I realized the depth of Linda's questionable dealings and Tyler's emerging treachery. They were designed to appear innovative, to pass muster with Linda's increasingly superficial reviews, but ultimately to fail spectacularly if launched by anyone who didn't understand the deliberately embedded weaknesses. My real strategies, the robust, innovative ones, have been discreetly implemented by Meridian over the past 18 months, generating millions in revenue, making Meridian look like visionary market leaders, while Hartwell, under Linda's increasingly erratic guidance, began to falter. Those plans, I confirm, were insurance. Richard leans forward. "And your actual work for us, Marcus, has been stellar. Apex Strategic Solutions has been instrumental in our recent growth. Time for my quiet power move. The one even Richard doesn't fully appreciate yet. Apex has done well, I agree. So well, in fact, that its profits have been reinvested, rather strategically." I slide a folder across his desk. Not the manila one from my old office. This one is slim, elegant, bearing the logo of an offshore holding company. Apex, through this entity, now owns 15% of Meridian stock. Richard's eyebrows shoot up. He opens the folder, scans the first page, then looks at me, a slow whistle escaping his lips. "Marcus, you've been busy." "Contingency planning," I say with a slight smile. So, when Tyler Manning makes his brilliant presentation to the Hartwell board, proposing a deep strategic partnership with Meridian Corp., he'll be proposing a partnership with a company that is about to expose Hartwell's critical vulnerabilities he helped create through his espionage, and a company in which his betrayed mentor is a significant shareholder. Richard leans back, a look of profound respect in his eyes. "And Hartwell's stock will plummet, making them ripe for an acquisition, by us, at a bargain price." The final piece. Richard looks at me, a new proposal forming in his eyes. "Meridian is launching a new subsidiary, Marcus, specifically to absorb and revitalize the valuable assets of, let's call them distressed competitors. The Hartwell client portfolio, for instance, once we've acquired it. It needs a CEO, someone with vision, someone who understands both sides of the equation." The offer hangs in the air, more significant than any corner office. The ticking clock in my head is louder now. The Hartwell board meeting is in 18 hours. Tyler is still blissfully unaware that his showcase presentation is a meticulously crafted instrument of his own, and Linda's destruction. He's about to recommend a partnership that will annihilate his company. And my old friend is offering me the chance to pick up the pieces and build an empire from their ashes. The crisp autumn air in Central Park carries the scent of burning leaves and distant pretzels. It's a sharp contrast to the sterile, recycled air of corporate boardrooms and hushed offices. My phone is pressed to my ear, a conductor's baton orchestrating a symphony of revelations, each timed for maximum impact, minimal collateral damage to the innocent. "Catherine, Harrison Blake is on board?" I murmur, watching a child chase pigeons near the fountain. "Locked in." Catherine's voice is firm through the phone. Showed him a sanitized version of Tyler's offshore account summaries. The phrase moral turpitude was uttered. He's ready for the vote of no confidence. He's also rather impressed by your thoroughness, Marcus. Thoroughness is a byproduct of necessity, I reply. Next call, Jenny. The final piece, Mr. Chen. Jenny's voice is quiet, but there's an underlying excitement. Tyler's personal financial records, the ones from his apartment, unexplained cash deposits into his local accounts, small enough to avoid automatic flagging, but a clear pattern. Matches the withdrawals from the offshore accounts. He's been layering it. It's all here. She'd used the key I'd given her, the one to my old filing cabinet where Tyler had foolishly stashed some personal items, thinking them safe. Excellent, Jenny. Send the encrypted file to my lawyer, and to David at the SEC. They're expecting it. I meet with my lawyer, Sarah Evans, an hour later in her sleek, minimalist office. She's formidable, a shark in a tailored suit. Everything is admissible, Marcus, she confirms, after reviewing the digital chain of custody for Jenny's findings. The audio files from Linda's shred bin are a little murkier, but given the context of the SEC investigation David is building, they'll paint a very compelling picture of intent. Tyler's financials are the nail in his coffin. Linda's, well, her shredding activities speak volumes. My hands are steady as I walk back to my temporary apartment, the one I've been using as a command center. I run through my presentation slides on my laptop. It's not a defense of my actions or an exposé of theirs. It's a strategic outlining of facts, a calm, irrefutable cascade of evidence. Offensive, not defensive. My company phone, the Hartwell one I rarely use now, buzzes. A text from Tyler. Hope there are no hard feelings tomorrow, mentor. Business is business, right? Looking forward to celebrating my success. The smugness radiates even through the text. A quiet power move. I type a measured response. Looking forward to your presentation, Tyler. It should be quite illuminating for everyone involved. Then, I attach a single image. A crisp, high-resolution photo I had Jenny take this morning. Tyler's brand new, still empty SVP office at Hartwell. The one next to mine. The one he thinks is his future. Except in the photo, discreetly placed on the gleaming, empty desk, is a miniature Meridian Corp logo, almost like a watermark. Subtle, confusing, unsettling. My phone rings almost instantly. It's Tyler, his voice a little too high-pitched. Marcus? What the hell was that photo? What's Meridian got to do with my office? Just a little market synergy, Tyler, I say calmly. See you tomorrow. I hang up before he can respond. Let him sweat. Let him wonder. Let his carefully constructed confidence begin to fray. David texts from the SEC. Federal investigation into Hartwell Industries, focusing on insider trading and corporate espionage, will be officially announced 30 minutes after your scheduled board meeting concludes tomorrow. Warrants are being prepared. Your cooperation has been invaluable, Marcus. The timing is perfect. Maximum impact on the board, minimum chance of tipping off Linda or Tyler before they walk into the lion's den. A final call as I'm about to shut down for the night. Linda Hartwell. Her voice is strained, attempting its usual confident cadence but falling short. Marcus, I think we need to have a private conversation before tomorrow's meeting. My office, 7 a.m. A mini cliffhanger delivered by the queen of corporate intrigue herself. She's rattled. She suspects something. She doesn't know the half of it. Of course, Linda, I say, my voice smooth as silk. Wouldn't miss it? 8 hours until the board meeting. 8 hours until the carefully constructed world of Linda Hartwell and Tyler Manning comes crashing down. Linda's office, usually an oasis of calm power, smells different this morning. The expensive perfume is still there, a cloud of something floral and aggressive, but underneath it, there's a faint, unmistakable whiff of desperation. The mahogany desk between us feels less like a piece of furniture and more like a barricade on a battlefield. It's 7 a.m. The rest of the floor is silent, the pre-dawn light filtering grayly through the panoramic windows. She attempts to take control immediately, her voice a little too sharp. Marcus, I've been reviewing your recent activities, your performance. It's become clear that perhaps your aspirations are no longer aligned with Hartwell's strategic direction. She's trying to intimidate me, to frame this as my failure, my departure. Is that so, Linda? I keep my voice even, my posture relaxed. She offers what she likely thinks is a generous severance package, a thick folder slid across the desk. 3 months' salary, full benefits continuation, and a glowing letter of recommendation, of course, for your discretion. I don't touch the folder. I notice her hand, the one not pushing the folder, is trembling slightly as she reaches for a cigarette, her third since I walked in 10 minutes ago. She lights it with a gold Cartier lighter, the flame unsteady. You trained Tyler well, Marcus, she says, exhaling a stream of smoke. Maybe too well. He's ready to take the reins. She knows something is wrong. She doesn't know what or how much I know, but the fear is there, coiling behind her eyes. She's fishing, trying to gauge my reaction, to see if I'll take the bait, the payoff, and disappear quietly. Tyler is adept at seizing opportunities, I concede, watching her. And you, Marcus? Are you adept at recognizing when a chapter is closed? Her voice has a harder edge now. The velvet glove is coming off. I know you've been meeting with people, asking questions. It would be unfortunate if your future in this industry were compromised by any ill-advised actions. There it is, the threat. Subtle but unmistakable. I realize Linda isn't just trying to get rid of me. She's scared. She suspects I've uncovered something, but she can't pinpoint what. She's trying to buy my silence, or, failing that, ensure my ruin. Time for my quiet power move. The one I've been saving for her. I reach into my leather portfolio, the only thing I brought with me, and pull out a single, slender document. I slide it across the polished mahogany. It's a summary of Tyler's offshore bank account activity, the one showing unexplained deposits. Clean, concise, devastating. Linda's eyes flick down to the paper. Her carefully constructed composure cracks. The color drains from her face, leaving her skin looking papery, old. Her hand, holding the cigarette, freezes midway to her lips. She recognizes what she's looking at, or at least she recognizes its implications. This is fabricated, she whispers, but there's no conviction in her voice. Is it, Linda? I stand slowly, my chair making a soft scraping sound on the plush carpet. The SEC will be very interested in its authenticity, along with certain audio recordings detailing its origins. Her eyes dart up to mine, wide now, the fear no longer coiled but openly displayed. The predator, cornered. I'll see you at the board meeting, Linda, I say, my voice calm, almost gentle. It should be quite a show. I turn and walk towards the door. Her voice, when it comes, is no longer sharp or commanding. It's thin, brittle, laced with a tremor she can't control. Marcus, wait. I pause at the door, my hand on the cool metal of the handle. What do you want? She asks, the question almost a plea. I don't turn around. Justice, Linda, I say softly, and perhaps a better view. 4 hours until the board meeting, 4 hours until the final act. My apartment is an island of calm in the pre-dawn city. Silent, except for the soft, rhythmic clicking of my keyboard as I make the final adjustments to my presentation. The blue glow of the monitor reflects off my face, my expression one of focused determination. Each slide is a carefully aimed projectile, loaded with irrefutable facts. My phone, resting beside the laptop, buzzes with a series of confirmation texts. Catherine. Harrison is prepped and ready. He's appalled and eager for the fireworks. David. SEC team on standby. Warrants are signed. Go get 'em, Marcus. Richard. Meridian is ready to move on your signal. The future looks bright, my friend. All the pieces are in position. The board, the feds, the market. Tyler calls. His voice is laced with a nervous energy he's trying to mask with bravado. Hey, Marcus. Just wanted to, make sure we're cool for the transition. No hard feelings about the office, right? You'll land on your feet. He's pumping me for information, trying to gauge my mood, my intentions. He's unnerved by my calm text last night, by the photo. Perfectly cool, Tyler, I say, my voice smooth, almost serene. Everyone gets what they deserve in the end, don't they? Right, he says, a little too quickly. Yeah, exactly, so you sound different, Marcus, more confident. Perspective, Tyler, I reply. It's all about perspective. I hang up, leaving him to simmer in his own unease. I finalize 3 distinct evidence packets, each meticulously organized, cross-referenced, and encrypted on separate flash drives. One for the Hartwell board, highlighting the internal rot and fiduciary failures. One for the SEC, detailing the criminal activities. One for select media contacts, ready to be released if Linda or Tyler try any last-minute smear campaigns. Insurance upon insurance. A quiet power move, just for Tyler. I compose a brief email. Good luck with your presentation today, Tyler. I'm sure it will be memorable. Attached is not a document, not a threat, but a single high-resolution image. It's a sleek, modern, empty office, not his new SVP office at Hartwell. This one is much smaller, utilitarian, with a barred window. The metadata, if he's smart enough to check it, will show it's a standard holding cell at the federal building downtown. The subject line of the email, your future office at Meridian, a subsidiary. The double meaning, I know, will not be lost on him for long. His frantic callback comes within seconds. Marcus, what the hell is that? What are you playing at? That's not funny. His voice is tight with panic. Just a little visual motivation, Tyler, I say coolly. Break a leg. I disconnect the call. I look at my reflection in the bathroom mirror as I adjust my tie. The man looking back is not the earnest, slightly naive mentor Tyler Manning thought he could exploit. The past few weeks, the sleepless nights, the meticulous planning have forged something new. The betrayal didn't break me. It refined me, sharpened me, transformed me into a strategic predator. My personal phone rings, an unknown number flashing on the screen. I hesitate, then answer. A distorted voice, electronically disguised. Mr. Chen, you don't know me, but I have information about Meridian Corp., about Richard Castellanos, his plans for Hartwell. They're not what you think. He's playing you too. A new variable? Or a desperate attempt by Linda or Tyler to sow doubt, to throw me off my game? The timing is suspicious. Who is this? I ask, my voice hard. A friend, the voice rasps. Or perhaps a fellow victim. Be careful who you trust, Mr. Chen. The view from the top can be very deceiving. The line goes dead. A mini cliffhanger dropped into my lap just hours before the denouement. My gut tells me it's a diversion. Richard and I have a history, a level of trust built over years. But the seed of doubt, however small, is planted. 2 hours until the board meeting. 2 hours until truth and consequences. The boardroom on the 50th floor of Hartwell Industries is a theater of hushed anticipation. The polished mahogany table reflects the pale morning sunlight streaming through the floor-to-ceiling windows, creating an almost ethereal glow. Executives file in, their whispered conversations creating a nervous buzz that even the thick carpet can't entirely absorb. Coffee is poured, pastries are ignored. Tyler Manning enters with a flourish, or what he imagines to be one. He's impeccably dressed, his presentation materials organized in a slim leather briefcase, his smile practiced and overly confident. He glad hands a few board members, oozing charm that feels distinctly oily this morning. He avoids my gaze. Linda Hartwell takes her seat at the head of the table. Her composure is a masterpiece of self-control, a carefully applied mask of authority. But I see the faint tremor in her hand as she adjusts her water glass, the slight pallor beneath her expensive foundation. The terror I saw in her office earlier is still there, simmering just beneath the surface. I am the last to enter. No briefcase, no thick binders, just a single, understated leather portfolio clutched in my hand. I take my seat, nodding coolly to Catherine Walsh and Harrison Blake. They both offer subtle, encouraging nods in return. The meeting begins with banal formalities, minutes approved, agendas confirmed. Then Linda, her voice a little too bright, introduces Tyler. And now for an exciting strategic proposal that I believe will significantly enhance Hartwell's market position, I give you our new Senior Vice President, Tyler Manning. Tyler rises, basking in the lukewarm applause. He launches into his presentation, outlining his innovative partnership strategy with Meridian Corp. His voice is smooth, his slides are slick, filled with optimistic projections and synergistic buzzwords. He speaks with obvious pride, a conqueror detailing his latest campaign. Board members nod, some appreciatively, others with the polite disinterest of those already anticipating the coffee break. I watch Catherine. I see the exact moment her eyes widen almost imperceptibly. The moment she grasps the sheer, audacious brilliance of my long-term counter-strategy. Tyler isn't just presenting a flawed plan, he's unwittingly advocating for his own company's cannibalization, orchestrated by the very man he betrayed. Tyler concludes with a confident flourish. A partnership with Meridian Corp is not just an opportunity, it's a necessity for Hartwell's future dominance. He looks around, expecting accolades. A beat of silence. Then, my quiet power move. I wait until all eyes are on me, the man who was so publicly usurped. I stand calmly. An impressive presentation, Tyler. I begin, my voice even, carrying clearly in the suddenly still room. Very ambitious. However, before we vote on this proposal, I believe the board deserves some additional context. Context regarding Meridian Corp., its actual business model, and its relationship with certain individuals within Hartwell Industries. Tyler's confident smile falters. A flicker of unease crosses his face. Linda stiffens. Context I believe will be best provided. I continue, my gaze sweeping across the stunned faces of the board members, by Meridian's CEO himself, Mr. Richard Castellanos, who has graciously agreed to join us via video call. I nod to Jenny, who has been waiting discreetly by the AV controls. The large screen at the end of the boardroom, previously displaying Hartwell's logo, flickers to life. Richard Castellanos' face, calm and authoritative, fills the screen. Tyler stares, his jaw slack. Linda looks like she's seen a ghost. The ticking clock in my head is deafening. The SEC investigation is scheduled to be announced in precisely 30 minutes after this meeting is scheduled to conclude. The dominoes are about to fall. The air conditioning in the conference room hums a steady, monotonous drone, a stark contrast to the rising tension. Sweat beads on Tyler's forehead, despite the cool temperature. Richard Castellanos' voice, amplified through the room's speakers, is calm, measured, and utterly devastating. "Good morning, members of the Hartwell board," Richard begins, his gaze seemingly fixed on each of them through the camera. "Marcus Chen invited me to clarify Meridian Corp's position, particularly concerning any potential partnership with Hartwell Industries." He doesn't mince words. Richard outlines Meridian's actual acquisition strategy, a meticulously researched approach of identifying undervalued or internally compromised companies with valuable assets. They don't partner, they absorb. Strategically? Surgically? "Mr. Manning's proposal," Richard continues, his voice devoid of malice but edged with an unmistakable finality, while creative, seems to misunderstand Meridian's core business objectives. We are not seeking a partnership with Hartwell. We are, however, always interested in acquiring valuable portfolios when market conditions are favorable. Tyler's carefully crafted presentation, his brilliant strategy, is revealed for what it is: a naive, ill-informed pitch to be devoured, disguised as a collaboration. The predatory takeover he thought he was leading for his own benefit was, in fact, aimed directly at Hartwell, with him as the unwitting delivery boy. Linda interrupts, her voice strained, desperate to regain control. "This is highly irregular, Marcus. Mr. Castellanos, with all due respect, this is a Hartwell board meeting." "What's irregular, Linda?" I cut in, my voice cold and clear. "Is corporate espionage. What's irregular is securities fraud. What's irregular is a CEO and an SVP conspiring to defraud their own company and its shareholders." I placed the contents of my leather portfolio on the table. Not slides, but hard copies. Tyler's financial records, detailing the offshore accounts, the untraceable deposits, the timeline of his payments from shell companies, cross-referenced with Meridian's recent market wins and Hartwell's concurrent losses. Each page is a nail in their coffins. Tyler's face goes white, chalk white. He stares at the documents, then at me, a dawning horror in his eyes. He knows in that instant that I knew. About the money, about the betrayal, about all of it. He thought he was playing me. He was playing directly into my hands. My quiet power move, delivered with the precision of a surgeon. "For the past 6 months," I announced to the stunned board, "I have been cooperating with the Securities and Exchange Commission, providing them with evidence of systematic fraud within Hartwell Industries, originating at the highest levels." Catherine Walsh stands, her expression grim but resolute. In light of this information and the clear malfeasance it demonstrates, I motion for an immediate vote of no confidence in CEO Linda Hartwell and for the immediate termination of Senior Vice President Tyler Manning, pending criminal investigation. Harrison Blake seconds the motion without hesitation. Tyler stammers, This is a misunderstanding. Marcus is twisting things. Linda, tell them!" But Linda is silent, her face a mask of defeat. Her empire is crumbling around her, and she knows it. The vote is swift, unanimous. Linda is out. Tyler is out. I let the silence hang for a moment. Then, there is one more revelation. One final piece of information that I believe will clarify everyone's future, and Hartwell's. The tension in the room is palpable. They think the storm has passed. They don't realize the hurricane is just making landfall. The ticking clock isn't just for the SEC anymore. Security is already on their way, discreetly, to escort Mr. Manning and Miss Hartwell from the building. Their Hartwell careers are over. Their freedom is next. The sound of Tyler's expensive, company-issued smartphone clattering onto the polished mahogany table echoes in the suddenly cavernous silence of the boardroom. He's realized the game is over, and he's lost in a way he never imagined. His face is a mask of disbelief and dawning terror. "My position here today," I state, my voice resonating with a calm authority that surprises even myself, "is not as a disgruntled former employee seeking revenge." I pause, letting my gaze sweep over the board members, now looking at me with a mixture of shock and dawning respect. For the past 2 years, I have been acting as a strategic consultant to Meridian Corp. Through my independent firm Apex Strategic Solutions. A collective gasp. Linda's head snaps up, her eyes wide with a new understanding of just how thoroughly she's been outmaneuvered. The corner office, Linda so generously gave to Tyler, I continue, a hint of irony in my tone, was never the real prize. It was an observation post, a place to gather the final pieces of evidence, to understand the full scope of the corruption, and to position Hartwell for a necessary transition. Richard Castellanos' voice fills the room again from the video screen. And a highly effective consultant he has been. Meridian Corp is formally announcing its intention to acquire Hartwell Industries' key client portfolios and viable assets, effective immediately. We will also be extending offers of employment to all Hartwell staff, excluding, of course, Miss Hartwell and Mr. Manning. His gaze is flinty. Marcus Chen will be heading this new subsidiary as CEO with a substantial equity stake and full autonomy. His team will be his own to choose. The room erupts in muted chaos, whispers, shocked expressions. Tyler looks like he's about to be physically ill. He makes a desperate, last-ditch plea, his voice cracking. "Marcus, please. We can work together. I made a mistake. A terrible mistake." My quiet power move, the final dismissive gesture. I reach into my jacket, pull out one of my new Apex Strategic Solutions business cards, and slide it across the table to him. "My assistant will be in touch regarding your final paycheck from Hartwell, Tyler, and perhaps a referral to a good criminal defense attorney. You'll need one." Linda, ever the fighter, makes one last, futile attempt to regain control, her voice hoarse. "You can't do this. This is illegal. I'll sue. Catherine Walsh cuts her off, her voice like ice. "Save it for your own defense attorney, Linda. I believe the SEC has a rather compelling case against you both. And I suspect Meridian's legal team is more than prepared for any frivolous lawsuits." The boardroom doors open. Not security, not yet. Jenny walks in, calm and efficient, holding a stack of folders. "Mr. Chen, the transition documents you requested for the new subsidiary, and Mr. Castellanos, the preliminary acquisition agreements are ready for the board's review." I take the folders. "Thank you, Jenny. Excellent timing." I turn back to the stunned board. "And as for the new company's first major client," I announce, a small, triumphant smile playing on my lips, "I'm pleased to confirm that Global Tech Industries, one of the key accounts Mr. Manning believed he was transitioning, has just signed an exclusive 7-figure contract with Apex Strategic Solutions, effective this morning." The very account Tyler had been so smug about stealing. The ticking clock has run out for them. For me, a new one is just beginning. The press conference announcing Meridian's acquisition of Hartwell assets and the simultaneous SEC announcement of their investigation begins in 1 hour. Tyler and Linda are about to become yesterday's news. Very bad news. The elevator doors whisper open, not to a corner office, but to an entire floor. My floor. The top floor of the Meridian Tower. The view is biblical. A 360-degree panorama of the city sprawling beneath me, glittering in the midday sun. It makes my old Hartwell corner office, the one Tyler coveted, look like a broom closet with a window. "It's impressive, isn't it?" Richard Castellanos says, walking up beside me. He gestures expansively. "All yours, Marcus, CEO Chen. Has a nice ring to it." Jenny follows, supervising a team of movers who are carefully placing boxes marked MC, personal. My books, a few framed photos, the small chipped coffee mug I've had since college. She smiles, a genuine, happy smile. "Your new office is slightly more impressive than the last one, Mr. Chen." I grin back at her. "It's CEO Chen now, Jenny, and you're not just my assistant anymore. How does Chief of Staff sound?" Her eyes widen, then shine with gratitude. "It sounds perfect, Marcus." "Sir." The irony isn't lost on me. Tyler's calculated betrayal, Linda's arrogant dismissal, they were the catalysts. They thought they were ending my career. They were launching it into the stratosphere. This isn't just a new job, it's a new empire. An empire built on their ashes, yes, but also on my own merit. My own quiet, relentless strategy. My personal phone rings. My parents. I'd texted them a brief, cryptic message an hour ago. "Tune into the business news at noon. Have champagne ready." Now their voices are a torrent of excited questions, of pride so thick it makes my own eyes sting a little. I explain, as simply as I can, the whirlwind of the past few days, the years of quiet planning that led to this moment. Their joy is a balm, a validation far sweeter than any stock option, a quiet power move, one last little twist of the knife, not out of malice, but out of a sense of closure. I authorize Jenny to send 2 identical, very expensive gift baskets. One to Tyler Manning, care of his last known address, the other to Linda Hartwell. The card in each will be simple. "Thanks for the motivation, Manoran MC." Richard reappears, a sheaf of documents in his hand. "Transition timeline. Your equity stake. It's significant. And the preliminary list of Hartwell employees we're retaining. Your approval needed, of course." We walk through the expansive, still mostly empty office space. I review the employee files, my mind already working, strategizing, building my new team. I'll offer positions to everyone of value, everyone who was collateral damage in Linda and Tyler's schemes, everyone except their inner circle, the ones who knew, the ones who enabled. They can follow their disgraced leaders into oblivion. My laptop set up on a temporary desk pings with a news alert. A photo flashes on the screen. Tyler Manning, looking hen-faced and disheveled, being led away in handcuffs by 2 stone-faced federal agents. The headline, "Hartwell SVP arrested in major corporate espionage and fraud scandal." Linda's arrest, the alert notes, is imminent. A mini cliffhanger, resolved with satisfying speed. The market opens in 30 minutes. Meridian stock, on the news of the Hartwell asset acquisition and the cleansing of its corrupt leadership, is about to surge. And my 15% stake, the one I built through Apex, is about to become even more valuable. The view from up here is already breathtaking. It's about to get even better. 6 months later. The champagne fizzes in delicate crystal flutes, catching the light from the setting sun that paints the city skyline in hues of gold and crimson. I'm in the new company boardroom. My boardroom. Toasting with my executive team. Apex Meridian Strategic Solutions. The subsidiary I built from Hartwell's ruins has not only met but exceeded every projection in its first 2 quarters. The mood is jubilant, electric. To Marcus. Catherine Walsh, now my most trusted board advisor and a significant shareholder herself, raises her glass. Whose promotion strategy was, shall we say, unconventional, but undeniably effective. Laughter ripples around the table. The news cycle has long since moved on from Tyler Manning and Linda Hartwell, but their downfall remains a cautionary tale in business journals. Tyler's criminal trial was front-page news for weeks. He was found guilty on multiple counts of securities fraud and corporate espionage. The judge, citing the brazen and predatory nature of his crimes, handed him a sentence that ensures he won't be stealing anyone's strategies or cologne for a very long time. Linda, ever the pragmatist, plea bargained. A reduced sentence, house arrest in her palatial but now heavily mortgaged estate, in exchange for testifying against Tyler and forfeiting a substantial portion of her ill-gotten gains. Her reputation, once formidable, is now permanently tarnished. A few weeks ago, a LinkedIn message popped up in my inbox. Tyler Manning. From a new, hastily created profile. A rambling, poorly written attempt at an apology, laced with self-pity and a thinly veiled request for… what? Forgiveness? A job, perhaps, when he eventually gets out? The audacity was almost comical. My quiet power move then was simple. I didn't respond. I didn't block him. I screenshotted the message, printed it, and had it framed. It now hangs in my private office, next to my MBA diploma. A small, daily reminder. Jenny, my indispensable chief of staff, brings me the morning edition of the Wall Street Journal. There we are, Apex Meridian. A feature on the cover of the business section. The Phoenix Firm, how ethical strategy and bold leadership turned corporate scandal into market success. There's a rather flattering photo of me, looking, I have to admit, like a CEO. I catch my reflection in the panoramic window of my office. The man looking back is leaner, his eyes sharper, etched with the experience of battles fought and won. The naive idealism of my early Hartwell days is gone, replaced by a pragmatic, steely resolve. But the core of who I am, the belief in ethical work, in genuine innovation, that remains. Stronger, even. Betrayal, it turns out, can be a powerful refiner's fire. The final revelation, the one I've kept to myself until now, brings a private smile to my lips. That manila envelope, the one I'd slid from my old Hartwell desk in those first moments of shock and dawning fury, the one Tyler and Linda never knew about? It didn't contain damning evidence against them. I had other, better ways to gather that. No, that envelope contained my resignation letter, typed, signed, and dated a week before Linda's announcement, before Tyler officially got my office. I had already decided Hartwell, under Linda's increasingly compromised leadership, was no longer a place I could thrive. I was planning to leave, to focus on Apex full-time. Their betrayal simply accelerated my timeline and offered a far more satisfying exit strategy. A closing twist, just for me. I pick up my phone and dial Tyler's old Hartwell number, the one now disconnected. Then, on an impulse, I try the number Jenny had found in his emergency contacts, the one for his mother. After a moment, a weary voice answers. I don't speak. I just listen for a moment to the sounds of a life irrevocably altered by greed and ambition. Then I hang up. Some calls are best left unmade. Some victories are best savored in silence. The leather of my new executive chair, a custom-made Italian import, creaks softly as I lean back. It's the sound of success, of vindication, of a future I built not just despite betrayal, but because of it. The city sprawls before me, a glittering tapestry of lights and ambition. Tonight, I'm hosting a small dinner party in my new penthouse apartment. The view from the balcony is, if possible, even more spectacular than the one from my office. It encompasses the entire city, including way off in the distance, the familiar silhouette of the Hartwell Industries building. A tiny, insignificant speck on a vast horizon. David, my old friend from the SEC, raises his glass. "To Marcus," he says, his eyes twinkling, "who managed to turn corporate espionage and a stolen corner office into a masterclass in career advancement, and who, thankfully, kept meticulous records." We all laugh. The people here tonight are the ones who stood by me, who believed in me, even when I was just a guy in a bullpen with a crazy plan. My final quiet power move, enacted earlier this week. I've established a scholarship fund at my old business school, the Hartwell Manning Memorial Scholarship for Business Ethics. It's funded by an annual donation equivalent to Tyler's old Hartwell salary. A fitting legacy for them both. Tomorrow, a new intern starts at Apex Meridian. Young, bright-eyed, eager to learn. Reminds me a little of myself, all those years ago. Reminds me a little of Tyler, too, in his early days, before the ambition curdled into something ugly. I'll take this one under my wing. I'll teach them about strategy, about innovation, about navigating the complex currents of the corporate world. But I'll also teach them about integrity, about the long game, about how true success is built not on stolen ideas or betrayed trust, but on genuine merit and unwavering ethical principles. The view from the top is extraordinary. Tyler gave me his betrayal, Linda gave him my corner office, and I thanked them both from my view in the boardroom, and now, from here. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all, but a life lived so well, so successfully, it renders their actions utterly insignificant. The sweetest victory is indeed the one they never saw coming, because they were too busy looking down, while I was always looking up. My phone buzzes. A text from Richard Castellanos. He's been quiet lately, enjoying a well-deserved extended vacation. The message is short, but it sends a jolt of adrenaline through me, a familiar thrill. "Enjoying the view, Marcus? Good. Get ready for a new one. I'm retiring at the end of the year. The Meridian Group CEO position needs filling. Interested in your next challenge?" I smile. The game, it seems, is always evolving, and I am always ready to play. The applause I imagine isn't from a conference room this time. It's from a future I'm already shaping,